It was Halloween in Good Neighbor, and the normally bustling streets were dead silent. The bright lights of the neon signs that usually lit up the night sky were all dark. The only sound was the wind, howling through the streets, carrying a chill with it. The day had started off uneventful as any other, but by the evening, the citizens of Good Neighbor had all disappeared, as if by some unseen force. There was no sign of life, no sound of laughter, or music, or children playing. At first, some had thought it was just a prank or a Halloween tradition, but soon, the truth emerged. There was a sinister force at work in Good Neighbor. Halloween was a special night in the Fallout universe. It was a night when the ghosts of the past came out to haunt the living. It was a night when the spirits of the dead roamed the streets, looking for unsuspecting victims. It was no wonder then, that the people of Good Neighbor had fled in fear. They had heard the stories, seen the signs, and felt the presence of the supernatural. It was a night to be feared and respected. But there was one brave soul who stayed behind. His name was Nimrod, and he was a scavenger. He had been living in Good Neighbor for years, and he knew the streets like the back of his hand. He had heard the stories, too, but he wasn't afraid. He knew there was no danger in this night, only an opportunity. He was determined to find out what had happened in Good Neighbor, to find out why everyone had left. Nimrod walked through the streets, looking for any clues that might lead him to the truth. He was cautious, but also brave. He knew that in a place like this, danger lurked around every corner. As he walked, he heard a noise coming from a nearby alleyway. It sounded like a low moan, like the sound of someone in pain. He followed the sound and soon came upon a group of ghouls. They had been huddled together in a dark corner, trying to stay out of sight. They were terrified, and Nimrod could see the fear in their eyes. He approached them cautiously, and they told him their story. It seemed that a powerful witch had cast a spell on Good Neighbor, trapping everyone inside her realm on Halloween night. She was determined to take revenge on the people of the city for harming her in the past. The ghouls had managed to escape, but the rest of the citizens were still trapped in the witch's realm. Nimrod knew he had to act quickly if he wanted to save them. He thanked the ghouls for their help and ran off into the night. He searched through the witch's realm, looking for any sign of the citizens of Good Neighbor. Finally, he found them, all huddled together in a dark corner, too afraid to move. He helped them escape, and soon they were back in the streets of Good Neighbor. The citizens were relieved to be back home, and they thanked Nimrod for his bravery. The next morning, the citizens of Good Neighbor awoke to find that the witch had been banished, and all of the neon signs had been relit. It was as if nothing had ever happened. The citizens of Good Neighbor had learned an important lesson that night: no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always hope. Nimrod went on to become a legend in Good Neighbor, and every year on Halloween, the citizens of the city gathered together to remember his bravery and celebrate the courage of the human spirit.